Of course, if you want to donate or support, you can also check the link in the bio for, sell art, merchandise, fashion, clothing. You can't see the pants right now, but pants are right. Love Life. Description will be below for some art actually yours of Tupac.
Yeah,
it's poet, activist, and leader. I put it in 4 different colors, and then we had Thug Life. I just wrote Love Life because that's what we gotta love life. We love living.
Creativity.
Yeah, it's
that's
what it's about. If it's negative, we don't do it. We're not about it. We don't want it. You can keep it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not dealing with that. It's just about living your best life you can. Like Naval said, living your best life in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes whether it's in the city or it's in the farm, like Paperboy,
Paperboy,
people just want a simple life, And for us, I guess, as island kids, like that's really what we just want a simple life. We want to be able to have the foreign amenities in the foreign country, still have the island life.
Yeah.
So sometimes we move to farm-like areas, and suburban areas where we get some trees. I mean, it's a little different because of the weather. Apparently, it's supposed to snow tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's life.
We ready for that, yo. We dress for all 5 weathers up here up north.
Yes.
Spring, summer, fall, winter, and construction. Construction season always never stops.
Yeah.
And that's what Paperboy was doing up north. He was trying to work on a tractor trailer, trying to enjoy the slow life. A life that's not relatable for some. I always like to make fun of some of the people that, come from small towns, and then they move to the city. It's like, I'm a city person now, I'm taking city transit, I'm taking,
It's boring for some people.
I know.
They want to experience that big city life, Because it really truly, when you think about sometimes, the main thing they always say is when you come from a small town, like type mentality, it's just like everyone knows everyone is so small, if you're crowded, if you feel like you just know, like it limits your potential, I guess.
Agreed. If you're in a small city, Susan, my favorite person I like to also throw, Shaquiqua, her, all these people. I like making them names, man. Shaquiqua is the girl name. John's just the guy name that I need as an example. But the point is, like, you just know, these people.
Versus that was actually somebody.
No. Those are my 2 made up people names for people that have been following along for a long time. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the comments. And thank you for the subscribes. But yes, that's what I mean by whenever I say Shaquiqua is an example or John is, they're just made up names just to give, context to the situation.
Gotcha.
So, there I go explaining. But the point is just more of like, when you're in a small town, you know everyone, as you were saying. But when you're in the city, and I can feel that for some people, they don't want to, I don't want to know you. I won't be forgotten. I just want to be one of the numbers in the city. I can see the advantage of living in the city for that, because you're forgotten, it's like, but then once again, it goes back to maybe something I brought before about like loneliness, for instance, like, okay.
So you think it put too much expectations on you, I guess?
Yeah, sure. I guess so.
Small town?
I guess so. Like,
or especially like you say, maybe your family is well known for this or good at this, everything.
I think like, if you're well known, it's tricky because sometimes like when once you get fame, see what I did there? Because name the show, fame, and then you want to just have that like privacy again, and I understand why celebrities pay so much for that form of privacy. It's very difficult, like once you become popular, and then like. Like Drake, for instance. Yeah, we see Drake a lot, but like, imagine like you took 5% back of how often we see Drake. I wonder how much that would cost Drake, for instance, to like cut 5% back of like, these public appearances, these shows, these movies, posts and stuff.
It wouldn't hurt him.
I don't think it would hurt him, but let's say like, he wanted to take a step back from everything that he's doing, like relevancy. Like, I think for some people, once again,
I don't believe in relevancy.
I think it is. I think it matters.
Relevancy is only for people who are not as good.
Okay.
For instance, Denzel. I've heard him say this before, and I've heard either Missy, Timberlake said this before. Same thing about Missy.
Okay.
He said, people always complain, Missy hasn't dropped whatever. But guess what? When she does, everyone's excited about it.
Yeah.
She's good. It doesn't matter. You can be 5 years. Think about Nas. My favorite rapper of all time. However, he's very inconsistent. Don't like that about him.
Yeah, so like you're watching this right now, and you're just like,
listen, guys.
Finish your sentence.
I mean, he's been on fire.
Yeah,
the last 2 years. Now he has what? He's given us King's Disease 1, 2, 3. 3 came out to Saturday. 2 came out Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday or Friday, whatever.
Came out of the bin pass. Yeah,
Yeah. And then he had Magic in between there. So, like, he's on a roll right now. This is the most consistent he's been since he came out in 1994.
Damn.
But it doesn't matter how long he doesn't have a song. Like Lauryn Hill. You could go 10 years without saying one word, one interview, nothing. You have no idea where she is. She brings one song, everyone's excited because she's that good. Like Timbaland said, when you're too accessible, you become watered down.
Okay.
When you're good, people will always be waiting for you because you always have that loyal fan base who just knows when you get something, it's going to be good. Most people try to stay relevant because they're not that good. So now the attention span of people is so low that people don't even make 3-minute songs anymore. It's like 2 minutes.
Minute
If you go to TikTok, there's people who are actually making songs
Remember Vine?
based off TikTok. So they want to make a beat that's only 15-second song or a catchy hook. That's it. There's no choruses. There's just a hook.
Well, the hook is, I think, everything then, though.
Yeah. So now traditional songs kind of now the traditional songs. Main songs right now are like
Modern day songs.
2 minutes long, 1.5 minutes, 1:45. So now artists sell more bodies of singles than than albums. So people
So are singles now the new mixtape?
basically
Okay.
instead of me making 20 songs for you to try to like it, you only like 5. Why don't I just give you maybe 10 songs and they're all like 1.5 minutes long, and then I'll probably make 5 of those for TikTok.
Yeah.
You made it 30 seconds long, 59 seconds, 45, 30. So it's just like, but when you want people to be that guy, you got to be that guy. You can't always have to be in the public eye. Look at Leonardo DiCaprio, perfect example.
Yeah.
One of my favorite actors ever. Unless he's doing a movie or something, usually you don't hear anything about the guy. You don't see him. But you know when he does a movie, it's not just a movie. It's a good movie. He's very selective. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah.
On it forever. Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick!
You never seen him in a movie that was just like, oh, he's just thrown in there. No, he selected what he wanted to do. So it doesn't matter if you take 2 years to make a movie or 3 years. You know when he comes out with something. Spike Lee, Denzel. That's just how those guys are. Denzel say, yeah, when you're too accessible, people see you too much.
So how do you get to that? I think that's the thing. Like, I understand.
I would say time.
Okay.
I think a lot of people don't take time, but then again, it also depends on your structure, like your deal, what you earn, and all that. Because some people can't afford to not put an album out in 2 years,
That's the thing.
right? So they kind of have to force to give you an album every year. But meanwhile, it's just like if you took a little bit more time, the art could have been a little better.
A little bit.
Yeah, and that's what I think it kind of is sometimes. Like when people complain about Rihanna not bringing out music. Why? What does she need to bring out music for? She's made more. Music didn't make her a billionaire.
Yeah.
She leveraged her fame and her likeness and all that stuff to move into business. Now, every now and then she can drop music, just like what Jay-Z does.
Yeah.
Jay-Z don't have time to give you a 20-song album. For what? For what?
That is true.
No, he will when he can, because after all he done in the last year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, then he can come back and say, you know what, business is running, everything's on autopilot. I got a few things I want to say. Now I can drop an album. Or the entire 2 years that you didn't think you would hear anything from him, he was making music the whole time. You just putting together a song here and there, whatever, or a little bit here, and then finally he might say, you know what, these are the songs I'm going to put together for this project. It's not like he's constantly working on music. He doesn't have time to work on that stuff.
My question then, I guess, is if he doesn't have time to work on this stuff, is it because like he built a team around him? I guess that like he can delegate these tasks to.
Of course.
Okay.
You don't get to that point without a team. You don't become a billionaire by accident. And you can't do it in one. Maybe if you might have a really good run and you do it one time, but when you multiple success, you're talking about this music, you're talking about the clothing line, you're talking about liquor, you're talking about clubs, you're talking different liquor, you're talking like justice reform programs, like he's getting even more political, more community based. You're talking about title, like you're talking about a bunch of different stuff. You're not lucky, and if you look at it, usually it's the same set of guys that's been around for the longest. But that's what happens when everybody again works together.
They act as a trampoline. Like, you know, like, my problem with this is like, okay, if you take your friends in quotation or your circle with you and they don't have the skills to fill into the roles that you need.
But you don't.
But some people do.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the difference between like, okay, my friends are the people that have the skills that I need to succeed. And then these are my friends. They've been with me since the beginning. I'm going to take them with me to become my entourage. Yeah. But then they sometimes maybe become your biggest downfall. How many times have you seen people take their friends with you?
Self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I mean, you don't intend it to happen. But the thing is, a lot of us don't have to have the skill set. It's just a willingness to do the work.
Yeah.
Because him, Tata, what's the guy? Biggs, Emery, one or two others. It's like the same set of guys. And I'm sure a lot of them didn't know this stuff. Went to school for this stuff. But guess what? They had the willingness to learn. And one of the most important thing is, every recording, he's just in the background. He just
this is his show. You can see his little painting here with the crown and everything. He's always running that. He's just like.
But the thing is, I think a lot of times we don't know when to play a good role. A lot of times it's always, he's getting 250. Why am I getting 200?
Agreed.
We don't know when to take the role. Hey,
that's me.
Your role is the guy who maybe you set up the stuff. Equipment.
Yeah.
Don't want to be the guy setting up the equipment, then you want to be a light guy.
Okay.
You want to do the editing.
Bro, I want to
if you can, do it.
That's true.
But if it's not you, just don't do it.
Learn from the person that's doing it so that then you can.
Not everyone, a perfect example, man. I didn't even know.
All right, let's hear it.
Earn Your Leisure. They started a podcast, two guys, Troy and Rashad. Built to be a full-fledged media company.
Yeah.
You know, they done work with Steve Harvey, you're talking Mark Cuban, Shaq. Like everywhere. But guess what? You only see those two. But there's three guys.
Yeah.
There's the guy behind the camera, Mike. He's also a partner, so I guess they split it three ways or whatever. But one of the things Mike says, I never really want to be on camera. So he's not the guy. He's not there filming and make sure the camera's good. Then he's going over. Sometimes they have to call him. Come on, man. Let people see where you are. People don't even know what he looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just didn't. He's like, this is my role. This is what I want. I'm not a fan of that. A lot of times, too many people want to be the star.
If you have the personality, I think it splits this way. If you're the guy behind the camera, for instance, and you don't have a personality, or you don't believe in like your self-belief of like, you know, your personality can sell in front of the camera, sure, 100% get that. But sometimes, like, I hate to bring up this one, it's kind of similar to No Jumpers, but it's Flagrant. They have Mark, and I forget, I think the other guy's name's Mike or something that they recently brought in. They used to be two of the back behind guys.
Yeah,
like, you know.
I only know the Adam guy.
No, it's Akash, Andrew Schultz, and I know Mark's one of their boys that like does like audio.
Andrew Schultz, I'm not a fan of that guy either.
He made his own lane, man. I give him credit where due is. Like, removing like personal bias aside, he's built a successful organization, his niche and everything else. Remember,
for me, if you do something making money, put food on your table, and feed your family.
And his friends.
Yeah, and your friends, I'm all for that. I'll never have no problem with anyone doing that. But I don't have to be a fan. That's just,
agreed.
I can just not like what you do, but respect it. Like, I don't know anything about football. The closest thing to football is when I watch football podcast, which is started from I Am Athlete, then changed into Pivot. Now, I'm not gonna. Now, of course, everyone loves Tom Brady. Talking about how great he is.
Yeah,
I respect what he does, but I'm not a fan. If you ask me who's my favorite footballer, Tom Brady doesn't come to mind.
Who's your favorite footballer? Sorry.
It's going to be between Ocho. I'll probably say, not probably. Deion Sanders has definitely got to be there. What do you say? If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, you look good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. Like, just a class act from top to bottom, even to now. He knows what to do.
Yeah,
like, he just got it. And then you see him with his family and all that. So for me, it's not just about football; it's the person as well.
The personality.
Yeah, like I don't just like people do. Sometimes I mostly like the person. Yeah, I like to say like, if you go to something like Shark Tank, a lot of times they don't invest in what the person's doing. they invest in the person.
Yeah.
Like, this guy really got heart, he got drive. He seemed like he really wanted to do good. He wanted to do the work. He has a decent product, a good product. You know what? I think I can add to it and we can make it up there. So, yeah, that's my thing. Yeah, so it would probably be Ocho, Deion Sanders, probably, what's his name? Colin Kaepernick.
Okay.
So the other one would be like Fred Taylor or something. So, yeah.
You're in football more than me.
Yeah, like, there's a few more people that.
Yeah. Obviously, you can't give a shout out to everyone.
Yeah,
I'm not that guy.
Like, when I think football, I would think, oh my gosh.
I think beautiful game football, the one that we both know about.
Yeah,
but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's just like that. And then it's like even football, soccer. When I think football, I don't think Ronaldo. I don't even think Messi, to be honest. Even though I love Messi and I like Ronaldo too. And
who do you think my favorite player is for soccer?
Giroud.
Nah, man, you like to say Giroud, man. Memphis Depay, bro.
No, it's Giroud. You can't just keep changing players, man.
I'm not changing players. It's Memphis Depay.
Julian, 3 years ago, you were not saying Memphis Depay.
Yes, 3 years ago I was.
No, you wasn't.
He was playing for Olympic Lyonnais back then.
Yes, you used to mention it, but you weren't just bringing him up all the time. It was always Giroud.
No, you got Giroud stuck in your head. You got to be able to unlearn.
What do you think your name is in my phone?
It's because you have Giroud.
No, it's Giroud. Everything was Giroud for the Giroud and Ozil. Ozil became. Well, we don't want to talk about Ozil now.
No, I don't want to talk about.
See, now you hate Ozil, so that's why you move on to.
I don't hate Ozil. I appreciate these players for what they were able to do. All I'm just trying to prove to you is the player that I resonate with.
Yes, it's Giroud.
Is Memphis Depay. Look,
we agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree because you ain't gonna change your phone.
No, yeah, that's Giroud forever.
Yeah, I know that because you don't want to scroll all the way down the M to put Memphis. That's why I got it. It's okay. It's all right.
Because naturally, originally, you're Giroud.
God is good. That's how I'm that's how I'm gonna interpret that because you want to keep me in the G there, so I appreciate it. Thank you for the good vibes.
But if he was still at Arsenal and he's still scoring, you'd be saying Giroud.
Bro, the only time I say Giroud is when he plays for the French national team. That's it.
So now when he was at Arsenal.
Arsenal, I appreciated him for what he was. He was a good player. The games he scored, of course, I'm obviously tuned the horn. He's one of the best target men for what he is.
Yes.
That's it. As long as he stayed within his lane. I understand sometimes, though, at that time, where my mindset was, I took him outside of those lines. And that's why I got clowned down by you. Hence why I had him.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not hitting.
I know.
No, I'm not. For me, like 6 people who love Harry Kane, I respect what he does, but I'm not a fan.
Don't talk about Noah like that.
Yeah, Earl's gonna unsubscribe. He's the one guy who click thumbs down on the video.
I know he is.
Yeah, like I respect what he does, but I'm not a Harry Kane fan. I'm only clowning anyone who likes him. I clown him, but I was like, if that's your guy, then that's your guy.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. We have a point in society where it's too much with this cancel culture stuff. Like
you either have to like this guy or hate you.
Yeah, like where's the correction culture? You know, hey,
it's kind of.
I don't like what you said there. That's not okay. Let's talk about it. Why didn't you understand what you said? Why didn't you make the right choice of words? Or is that what you meant to say? Or did we just receive it wrong? It's not just man, he said that. Cut him off. Lose his job. He shouldn't be able to work anymore. Oh, he's in the NBA. Okay. You know what? Suspend him. No pay. Fine him. Matter of fact, sell him or drop him from the business. What did you say that we either took offense to? And just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. Let's put that out there. A lot of people get offended for stuff and just feel like because I'm offended, I'm hurt. You should apologize. First of all, I don't really believe in public apology type of stuff. I get it if you do something publicly, then I guess it's doesn't really reach people. But yeah, this outcry to like apologize to people publicly, I find a lot of times it's how do you know it's real? And someone may apologize to you in public, but what does that really do for you? I don't know, sometimes I guess it just depends on the situation.
I feel like the thing is the two words that come to mind is for the person that's canceling that person, they don't know how to process their emotion and grieve over the fact that like it's something that they don't like that they're experiencing right now because of somebody else.
Yeah.
And for the second person, and this actually relates again from the person that is now canceling the other person, they want that person to feel like a great form of guilt in the public eye. And
so why can't you feel guilt without destroying my life? Everything I've worked for.
I think for a lot of people is,
you're telling me you've never once said something incorrect?
oh yeah, I've said many.
How would you, like, you know, maybe 20 years ago or when you were in high school, you said something out of a joke or whatever. Someone just happened to have recorded it in the classroom, and they say, "Hey man, you know what? By the way, I know you work at the bank and everything, but I know you work at No Frills or wherever.
Yeah.
I know this is how you provide for your family working at Walmart, but
yeah,
I have this recording of you saying this joke in class. So I brought it to your manager, and he's going to fire you. How would you feel? I feel think it's okay.
I feel it's attacked. And here's my thing. Once again, this goes back to the thing. It's like this person sees you as a threat, and all of a sudden they'll do everything that they can to destroy it. It goes back to what we were talking about, like with divorcing.
Why would someone be a threat?
Because they don't know how to process their emotion. And the problem is, it goes back to the spectrum. It's black or white thinking. It's either you're with me or you're against me.
Yes.
Versus like, just like how we had the discussion just a couple minutes ago about Giroux. You can agree to disagree.
Yes.
You know I'm still right. And I know that you still know that you're right.
Yeah.
And you know, I thought I was just going to say I was right, you were wrong, but nah, it's not like this. But
this is bad.
you know what I'm going to say. I know you're not going to change.
But yeah, exactly. Same thing.
Yeah.
I don't hate the guy. I don't dislike the guy. I respect what he does, but I'm not a fan. I don't like.
And I think that exact model of how you explained it, perfectly calm, completely in control of your emotions, is what society lacks when it comes to that.
Okay.
It's like, okay, like, for instance, if you get clowned on because someone else is really much better at telling improv jokes in a social setting, and you get clowned on, you gotta take it. I'm not saying like, okay, you have to gotta take it and you gotta roll with it. Like, yeah, you can easily speak up and say like, I don't like that. Maybe after the second or the third one, I can kind of feel targeted.
Yeah. Then
it's on that other person's ability to recognize like, hey, this person said what he said, or she said what she said. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna adjust it. Like, that's why I think as a comedian, sometimes for myself, I like to make fun of myself instead of making fun of other people, because I find if you don't have a good grasp of how the other person is, how well they can handle jokes, how well they can handle certain topics, because like, you know, red flags are politics nowadays, or, you know, like, you know, gender or other different topics. Everything is just like, it's so hard. Yeah. It is just so hard to be like a comedian nowadays. And here's the worst part is now that society thinks that, as you were mentioning with Dave Chappelle earlier before, that like comedy now is this political vehicle. Like, comedy is supposed to be an outlet form of entertainment.
Yes.
When you walk into that room, these chocolate bars are not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be recording and posting the viral stuff.
Even if you do, it doesn't matter.
I think it does, because there's some insensitive jokes which is in that context of that environment. It's supposed to stay in there.
No.
But hear me out. When it gets recorded, let's say like you record something that is an offensive joke, and then that goes onto the social media aspect. Now those jokes are being applied to the rules of the social media land, of whatever you want to call it. And that's where, unfortunately, I do see a lot of cancel culture. Like, that's where they speak up because they're keyboard warriors, because you know what, they're behind these big ass like projector screens or 60-inch screens with like 3 keyboards typing, getting their bots to say like, yo, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like that. Hey, you know what, this jacket, we'll cancel it. You know what, we're gonna fine you, we're gonna do all this stuff, and all of a sudden she's like, but I like this jacket.
You know what happens when YouTube, it's not maybe when I'm on YouTube, right? Yeah. That's where I watch a podcast.
Algorithm.
Reviews and stuff like that, yeah. The algorithm always push, especially again, if something happens, doesn't matter what, positive. Yeah. Bad or positive, usually it's bad.
Because bad sells, sadly.
Yes. Vlad will upload a couple minutes or a minute or two or whatever, a clip of someone if something happens. They interviewed it. Have nothing to do with what happened now. Just because he did an interview or whatever you put up to capitalize on the moment for views. Now, of course, he does a lot of certain things for clickbait and whatever. I don't know why people still do that, but
clickbait. People don't know how to understand titles.
But the thing is, now YouTube would always push that because it might be a video I watch. Like for instance, let's say Drink Champs.
Yeah.
Maybe someone from Drink Champs went on there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one of their guests or someone from there. And something happens with them, and he'll put up a video with it, and YouTube will just push that to you like front line. It's just like, I gotta click not interested, or don't show me anything from this channel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why, if you know Dave Chappelle makes fun of pillows, multicolored pillows, you know this.
Yeah.
That's your thing. You don't want anyone making fun of it. Why would you watch Dave Chappelle's special? You know he's talking about the stuff you don't want to hear that's going to upset you, put you in a bad mood, get you upset. Maybe it might make you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And you are allowed to feel how you feel. However, you know that's what he's talking about. Why are you watching it? You have control.
They don't have control, because the thing is like, if I tell you don't wear this jacket,
yes,
you're gonna wear this jacket.
If I feel like I want to wear it, yes.
Yes.
Wait, you mentioned my jacket. You hit my jacket?
No, I don't hate your jacket. It's just I can't see your jacket.
You can't what?
I can't see your jacket's camo. Sorry, I couldn't.
Oh my God.
Your jacket's just a good example, man. Sorry, I took one level of improv. Now I think I can just improv off of it.
No, so you think people don't have control?
I think people don't understand how to control themselves in that situation. So, for instance, Dave Chappelle is going to release a special, and okay, like the word gets out, like the transgender joke thing that Dave Chappelle received some backlash for instance. Transgender to the name mentioned because maybe like, you know, like in a certain media portion of like, okay, the topics, let's say like they're in 3 of the 12 topics, and you know, Dave Chappelle's video comes up as one of the 3 topics. They're like, okay, I'm being mentioned here, this is good. I'm being mentioned here, this is good. Being mentioned here, okay, this.
For instance, we all know Kanye West has always have said a lot of things that rub people the wrong way for years. Fine, you don't have to like him. It's fine.
Would you say a decade now? Would you say it's a decade now of him saying stuff like this?
More than that.
Okay, fair. Continue.
Now, for instance, I remember when he said that slavery was a choice thing. That was a terrible statement to make.
Agreed. Especially
however, most people who, and of course, when people see you, they always want to ask you, what do you think? Because when you like listen to his music or whatever. First thing I ask, did you watch the interview? No. So, okay, well, don't reject the guy because you don't know what happened. You think he just went all the way to TMZ and just said that?
No.
There was like a 40-minute interview. He explained what he meant. But of course, clickbait, sell views, that's all they put and that's all they play. And now you have no clue what he's talking about. He said when George Bush doesn't like care about black people. Maybe that's all he said. Actually, I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
Did you watch it? No. So, or I asked him, what did he say? They can't. Usually, most people can't tell you what he said. Because guess what? The papers and the blogs, they don't tell you what he said because what did
they don't, and they don't source back, or where they source back, it's a 2-minute clip, or it's the 5-minute clip of that full interview. I think once again, this comes down to time. People don't have time. And the problem,
people have time. I don't make excuses for no one.
I'm not making an excuse.
Because guess what? We have time to look up all the stupidness, but not stuff that
because it's not entertaining.
Opinion about.
I'm just speaking from where they're coming from, and that's not to say like, hey, they have to continue it. I'm acknowledging where they're at right now. What they can do differently is exactly what you're saying. Where it's like, invest the time to go.
You don't have to invest. Bro, don't watch 10 minutes of what he said. Listen to the whole sentence. The whole point is soundbite clickbait. There's a reason for it. Soundbite clickbait. They want you to visit their website. So they generate money. They want you to click on their YouTube video.
Generate money.
That's why they generate views, they generate money. Like, it's
no different than what we're trying to do, but in a positive way.
We're not doing clickbait. We're telling you what we're talking about. You know it's us.
It's true.
Like we're not uploading we're not uploading the new Beyonce song with a picture of her as the thumbnail with the name Beyonce break my soul or whatever.
Just like this picture right here.
But really, it's me and him rapping. Like, we're not doing that.
Yo,
that's clickbait.
Yo, this is
like, that's clickbait.
It's
That's
so
the whole
true,
point. You know,
man.
like when DJ Vlad, when he put up a 2-second clip of someone talking about something just because they're trending right now. Clickbait.
It's true.
I mean,
or the clickbait tell, watch this video to see what Prince is gonna say. Like, you know, like,
oh my gosh, he said this.
yeah.
And you're reading
with a shock face like this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Or Diddy and J. Cole fight.
For the third time, yo.
And you go,
what the heck?
they didn't fight, they were playing around.
Yeah.
There's people who would make money off of this. So, but when you put it up like that, people go, oh my gosh, let's see what happened. Now, it doesn't matter if you're upset about what you've seen or disappointed. The whole point is they already got the clip.
Yeah.
You already got the visit. They already made the money off of it.
And isn't that the worst feeling, that when you do fall for that, or you do intend to watch that stuff, and then you finish watching it, you're like, what did I just do?
I usually don't anymore. A lot of times, that's why I say...
Well, you learned your lesson then. That's the key thing.
That's why I usually go... I like being on my phone.
Yeah.
Because I can go 3-dot, click, not interested from this channel. Because there's some channels that keep coming up. Just, that's all they do. It's all negative stuff.
Yeah.
I'll never go on a DJ Academics page. Ever. He doesn't do or promote, talk about...
Don't recommend this channel to me.
Anything positive. So anything comes up, click. Go ahead. If I'm on Instagram and someone posts something about it, just keep scrolling. I don't even want to spend 3 seconds on it for Instagram to start pushing it to my feed. He doesn't promote, talk about, or do anything positive whatsoever. All he does is capitalize off of negative stuff. And he says a lot of wild things to get people's engagement and reaction. Doesn't matter how you get engagement, as long as you get it.
Yeah.
And that's where it goes wrong. So now you seeing random stuff and stuff that's not cool, or people's wives and stuff like that. And it's just like, because it's the internet, it just goes unchecked.